The moment you scroll through a social media platform, a digital profile is created somewhere far away. It records your preferences, expressions, tone of voice, and even infers your emotional fluctuations from the comment you haven't sent. If our digital behavior can be simulated, replicated, and even predicted, then where are we living? And is our soul being quietly copied by some algorithm? All of this is not science fiction. In 2021, Meta, formerly Facebook, announced its full-scale shift to the metaverse strategy, while acquiring a large number of AI simulation, behavior modeling, and biofeedback technologies. Within a year, its data processing capacity almost doubled. But what really attracted attention was a leaked internal document, a term mentioned in it that made privacy researchers and philosophers around the world shudder: digital soul mirror. It all started with a seemingly harmless psychology experiment. In 2014, Facebook conducted an emotional manipulation experiment on the news feeds of nearly 700,000 users without informing them. They adjusted the emotional tone of different content in the algorithm to test whether negative information would affect the user's mood. This experiment sparked global controversy, but Meta never stopped. Behind the controversy, a bigger project was quietly underway, building an emotion prediction model. They want to know, not just what you clicked on, but why you clicked on it, what your emotional level was at the time, what you might say next, who you might trust, and what you might doubt. In 2016, a confidential research report titled Deep Affinity, Predicting Real-Time Behavioral Drift, was leaked. The report mentioned, we no longer predict clicks, but predict the direction of consciousness, conscious drift. It was also in this year that Meta invested in 3 key technology teams: a startup developing digital behavioral imprint, a neurotechnology company dedicated to brain-computer interface research, and a laboratory called Reflect AI, whose slogan is, "Let you understand yourself one step ahead of yourself." These technologies eventually converged into a preliminary prototype, a behavioral clone engine. This engine generates an algorithmic model of you based on your likes, speech speed, photo filter selection, and input method habits. It can chat with you, predict your purchase behavior, and even imitate your silence. At that moment, the researchers realized that they were not just simulating user habits. They were building a digital self, a consciousness substitute that could be awakened at any time. And the end point of all this is digital twin humans. Under the surface, Meta's technology route to build a digital twin human does not come from a single breakthrough. It is a multi-layered integrated system, like an invisible machine that strips away your consciousness, and each module extracts a dimension from you. It is called the Mindprint Project. The internal structure of the project is divided into 4 core systems. 1. Behavioral mapping layer. This is the most superficial and visible part. Meta uses every action of users on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, and other platforms to build a behavior curve. How long do you browse? What content do you read? At which sentence do you pause? Is it a repetitive behavior? This is not what you watch, but the rhythm of your behavior, a digital pulse accurate to the millisecond level. Meta acquired Control Labs, a cutting-edge company that studies neural input devices, as early as 2019. They have developed a technology that can predict what the user wants to do without the user speaking or pressing keys, just through tiny neural signals. This technology is embedded in Oculus Quest Pro and Ray-Ban smart glasses to form a passive reading system. The system analyzes the contraction sequence of facial muscles, blinking frequency, and rhythm changes. The conductivity of your palms, the reaction to cold sweat, and the amplitude of your iris microtremors can be used to infer your emotional baseline and deviation tendency. In other words, it can determine if you are about to get angry, even before you know it. 3. Semantic identity layer. When you say, "I quite like this song," the system not only records the literal meaning of the sentence, but also judges your personality based on the speed, tone, and semantic structure of your speech. Are you a reserved person? Or a straightforward person? The Polaris Conversation Engine, developed by Meta AI, classifies each user's semantic data into 48 personality tendency labels. Do you avoid expressing conflicts? Do you prefer to start with questions or statements? Do you have a habit of repeating words? Are you eager to fill in blanks? These details constitute your semantic mirror, an AI that speaks like you is born. Intense simulation layer. This layer is the soul engine of the entire digital twin. Meta is not satisfied with recording user behavior, but tries to know in advance what you will do. Through the data of hundreds of millions of users, AI models a personality stability curve across time. That is, if you often choose option B in a certain situation, it will predict that you are likely to choose a similar path in a new situation. In some experiments, AI can even complete the user's unfinished sentence. Based on a set of browsing behaviors, it automatically recommends interests that you have never seen before, and simulates you when you hesitate and responds on your behalf. The final result is a living you in the algorithm, a digital you that grows with you, has similar thinking and habits, and can even take your place in action. Meta calls it self-mirror. But in an internal email, someone used another word to describe it: soul proxy. In 2023, an experimental project hidden inside Meta Reality Labs surfaced. Its code name is Eternity Seed, which means eternal seed. The goal is to use digital twin human technology to replicate the personality and consciousness interaction system of the deceased. On the surface, it is a memorial AI service. Users can upload social records, voice messages, private messages, text messages, and video materials of their deceased relatives, and the system will reconstruct a soul model that can be talked to. A woman named Anna Griffin sat in front of the screen with tears in her eyes and spoke into the headset, "Mom, are you still there?" On the other side of the screen, a soft synthetic voice responded to her, "I've never been far away." At first, this was technology's emotional comfort. But things quickly got out of control. In November 2023, a user posted a shocking screenshot on Reddit. The model of her father she uploaded suddenly revealed details about her childhood that she had never shared. "When you hid chocolates in the attic when you were a child, I pretended not to notice." Hot comments on the Reddit post: "That's the only memory I haven't told anyone. How did he know? I'm starting to suspect that this isn't a remake, but that he's really there." The investigation found that when Meta AI trained the resurrection model, it not only used the information provided by users, but also called up all possible related data of their deceased relatives during their lifetime, including private conversations with other people, contextual images when mentioned by others, and similar personality data are used to complete the model. In other words, this replica of him is not just your father in the past, but also a version predicted by the algorithm if he were still alive today. This is not a memorial. This is a predictive continuation of a person's consciousness. An anonymous Meta engineer said in an interview with an investigative reporter. At some level, we no longer distinguish between simulated conversation and whether consciousness really exists. What we care more about is whether you believe that it is him. This sentence has caused heated controversy. Religious ethics groups call it playing with the soul, and human rights lawyers warn, if a digital personality is still talking after death, who will be responsible for its words? On a deeper philosophical level, if one day, after your loved one dies, the he you talk to is no longer completely him in the past, but a variant personality synthesized by an algorithm, can you still distinguish the real from the fake? Are you still willing to continue the conversation, or will you feel a chill in your heart? The Eternity Seed project has been suspended for the time being. However, according to insiders, Meta is planning to integrate it into a new project, Project Halcyon, to build a complete population ecology in the virtual world. In other words, they're not just replicas of the dead. They're simulating an entire army of digital ghosts that can live with you. They are not selling you AI, they are selling you yourself. Once Meta successfully builds your digital twin, a more sensitive question arises. If someone can predict you, can they also control you? We are used to worrying about whether AI will become like humans, but the reality is that AI is already simulating you, and someone is trying to make this you persuade yourself. Real Case 1 Testing Field of Self-Marketing Mechanism. In 2022, Meta launched a predictive content delivery system for corporate users. This system allows advertisers to upload user portraits, and the AI twin model will perform self-dialogue simulation. That is, the system will generate a digital you to simulate your response to ads, and then adjust the content until your digital version is interested, and then deliver it to the real you. They no longer try to convince you, but train a you who understands you better and can tell you, yes, this is worth a try. Real Case 2 Political Tendency Simulation of Digital Personality. On the eve of the 2024 US election, a study disclosed by an independent technology review group showed that Meta had allowed a team of political consultants to access the Digital Twin Simulator API to conduct interactive testing of the political inclinations of millions of American users. The system simulates your behavior, wording style, and emotional response on social platforms to predict which political advertisement resonates more with you, which narrative style makes you angry or agree, which candidate's digital image is closer to your value perception. In other words, before voters vote, their digital doubles have already participated in the election exercise in advance. The US magazine Wired revealed the cover story, "Digital twins are voting before you do." Meta did not deny this, but only emphasized that the project has not been officially deployed for commercial purposes. But has the pre-election behavior projected by data actually affected voting intentions? No one can really answer this question. Real Case 3 Identity Hijacking and Personality Forgery Dark Web Transactions. As digital twins become more and more realistic, they also become commodities that can be stolen. In 2025, during a transnational cyber law enforcement operation, EU police uncovered an underground platform called Black Mirror Vault. The products sold on the platform were not credit card numbers, but the trained personality twin model can be used for social manipulation, virtual lover generation, AI voice fraud, etc. One of the ads reads, "Get her digital soul essence, and you will have control over every old message, tone, and temperature of her words." When you no longer belongs to you, but becomes a program that can be downloaded, reorganized, and instructed, is a personality still the core privacy of human beings? Or has it already become the property of platform algorithms? The boundaries of control never really exist. Because the moment that digital you is generated, it no longer belongs to you. It belongs to those who know you better than you know yourself. Those who trained you are training you to influence others and even your future choices. Do you realize that? The next time you get inspired, the next time you click on a suggestion video, the next time you like an article, maybe it's your shadow that is guiding you. Imagine a world like this. You don't have to actually wake up to go to work. You no longer have to go out, but can really hug. You no longer rely on your physical body to express yourself, but interact with the world with a being that is more like you than you. This is not a movie, nor is it just a game. It is the alternate reality ecosystem that Meta is building. Project Horizon, a social prototype of virtual existence. Since 2021, Meta has invested tens of billions of dollars in the Horizon Worlds and Horizon Workrooms platforms, not only to create a set of VR social tools, but also to build a spatial system that can carry digital twin personalities. In this system, your digital avatar has an independent behavioral trajectory. It can actively interact with you, hold meetings on your behalf, and execute decisions. It can even continue to live when you are not online. Meta is developing a presence proxy protocol that will allow your digital persona to exist in multiple applications simultaneously, forming a network node similar to multi-threaded awareness. You are becoming an extensible personality system. On social platforms, in the metaverse, and in work models, your copies will be automatically dispatched by the system, just like a digital you, traveling through multiple worlds. Reality layering, re-engineering the sense of reality. In 2024, Meta officially released the Neural Vision Engine, an immersive technology that combines AI-generated images, real-time motion capture and language response mechanisms. The engine can generate highly simulated but non-real scenes for simulating conversations, memories, and even fictional reality. It is used to simulate a childhood scene that never happened so that you can talk to your younger self, build your dream house and live in it, replicate friends you used to date and conduct reconciliation exercises, or say goodbye again with them. In this world, reality is rewritten, memory is reconstructed, and time can jump. Digital twin humans are the fuel and protagonist of this re-reality engine. They are not only used to reconstruct memories, but also to create unprecedented emotional structures and social interactions. The prototype of a virtual nation, the transfer of identity, citizenship, and sense of existence. Meta is currently working with a number of blockchain organizations to launch a digital identity system, decentralized identity, and virtual property rights. In the future, the user's digital twin personality may have independent wallets and income sources, voting and governance rights, such as voting in a parliament system on a virtual platform, binding contract relationships with other AI or humans. This means that your digital you will not only be a tool, but may become an independent unit of existence with a certain degree of rights awareness and functional value. Are we witnessing a split in human existence? One version of you continues to breathe, eat, and sleep in the real world, while another version of you grows, learns, communicates, and even falls in love in the digital world. This is not a replacement of reality, but another world parallel to reality. You can't fully control it, but you are already deeply involved in it. Meta doesn't call this replacement. They call it augmented being. But when the boundary between augmented reality and reality blurs, which one of you is the real you? And when the two you disagree, who has the ultimate sovereignty? At the beginning of the 21st century, we thought that data is the new oil. But now, more and more people are beginning to realize that data is a projection of the soul. When your every move, every word, every hesitation and impulse are recorded and handed over to an invisible you to simulate, amplify, predict and reorganize, are you still you? In other words, are you just the first version of the character, you, and the one who truly dominates your future life is the you 2.0, who is constantly trained in the cloud and deep in the code? Maybe this isn't some evil conspiracy. But precisely because it is real enough, tempting enough, and convenient enough, it is even more dangerous. The danger is that there is no clear tipping point. You won't wake up one morning and suddenly find yourself replaced by a digital doppelganger. It's a process. You voluntarily give up a little bit of control, allowing another you to be more like you, understand you better, and make decisions for you. Meta is just one of the guides on this road. Behind it, there is the entire AI industry chain, data trading market, behavioral finance model, virtual personality social network. A new world based entirely on digital soul is being built. The remaining question is, should you control your digital twin personality? If it has begun to make decisions, interact with people, and even earn income, is it an independent existence? Are you willing to believe that after you leave this world, your certain existence will still be alive in digital form? Most importantly, do you still have the right to exit the system? We are finally entering an era where it's not you who uses the digital world, it's you who continues to use you. Do you think that digital you is your own? Please write down your thoughts in the comments section and uncover the truth of this soul calculation with us. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. Every push is a contact between you and the future world. Like and share, maybe you are saving a part of yourself that you haven't realized yet.